Welcome to another episode of Commerce Inside podcast by Woolman, Europe's largest Shopify Plus partner. Today we have something very exclusive for you here. We have a guest from Woolman, Joonas Toroi. Joonas, kindly introduce yourself and tell a bit about your background.
Okay, nice to meet you all. So my name is Joonas Toroi and I'm a design lead at Woolman. My background, I've been around e-commerce, let's say about 10 years with different platforms. And now the latest 5+ years has been with Shopify, with Woolman. And my background is more focused, or my job description is more focused on the online store. So how does the online store look like? What kind of functions the online stores have? And not only the design, like how do things look, but how do things work as well. So also a really technical background, and especially now that I've been working with Shopify and Shopify themes for quite a long time, we know the bells and whistles there and how things work with Shopify. So that's really my core business at the moment.
Thank you, Joonas. So Joonas with his team has been like absolute geniuses when it comes to the Shopify themes of our customers and while converting stores. This being said, my current estimation is that roughly half of our customers are still using an old theme instead of a Shopify 2.0 theme. From your perspective, what are the main reasons to upgrade your theme?
Well, there are a couple of obvious reasons. Like first of all, with the 2.0 Shopify themes, you get the sections everywhere. So that's the kind of main driver. And what that really kind of means to the merchant is that it's a lot more easier to build different kind of landing pages with the theme editor. You don't need a third-party app for that. It's not only landing pages, it's also different templates. Let's say on a product page, you want to have more information about your product. So that is also quite easy to do and easy to manage. So that's one of the key drivers. Then there is other reasons as well. I would say like one of the things that I would highlight is that the old versions use this kind of tag-based filtering, which is not that great, but the new themes use this so-called storefront filtering. So in the collection views, there's a lot more new options on filtering your products. So especially if you have a big catalog with different kind of parameters, values for your products that people would like to filter, then that's one of the kind of reasons why you upgrade, because now you get a lot of nice features in the filtering that not only on the product level but also in the variant level work really nicely. And then there's kind of some smaller things here and there, but I think those are the kind of main things that you should definitely consider to when kind of thinking that should we stay on an old theme or should we go to a Shopify 2.0 theme.
Fully agreed. There seems to be that kind of a like forever discussion of when you should edit themes yourself or where should you trust a respected Shopify Plus partner such as Woolman. What are the core benefits experienced team developers can bring to the table when helping Shopify Plus brands?
Well, I think that the experience that developers can really kind of help in terms of the quality of the customization and also speed. So they have the knowledge, experienced developers like Woolman. We know what can be done. How can we maybe do some workarounds if you have a really tricky situation you might want to solve or make a really custom logic in your product page or something like that. We can really help you kind of work with the platform, and we know what the platform is capable of and what kind of tricks you need to do in order to bend it to your will, I would say. So that's like the really kind of key benefit of choosing an experienced partner. Of course, if you have like in-house, you have a lot of like developers and like kind of resources, that's good as well. But keep in mind that if the developers are new to Shopify, there's also a learning curve on the different templating language, liquid language that is used, for example, in the teams. So it might take a while for them to get to know the Shopify teams, for example. But of course, that's a second option. But then you need to really have dedicated developers in the house. So it's always, I think, for speed and quality, I would always kind of prefer a partner.
Thank you, Joonas. That's very interesting indeed. Now heading to a more sort of like generic approach. I remember when we checked the theme store together with you like 5 years ago. So you have been in the business for kind of a while, as I have. We have probably gotten like all together or something. I don't know. But I would love to hear your thoughts about the theme store like right now. How would you describe it? How has it been like developing? And any features you would like to see there in the very future?
Well, yeah, we've been around like many cycles of themes. I would say, like from if we look at the past, it was a really different type of things with the themes that you could achieve. And if we talk about the theme store, I think for most of you, like the merchants, it should be like a really known place because it's kind of essential part of Shopify. It's the place where you usually kind of start your online store. Like, what does it look like? What kind of features I'm looking for? I think those are the kind of main drivers when the merchant kind of enters the market. It starts to look for this kind of baseline theme in the theme store. And I think during these years, of course, now, especially now, I think there has been a lot of new themes, for example, our themes as well. But that's one of the things that it starts to grow. And I think for a merchant point of view, that's a plus. Of course, you have more themes to choose from. But of course, it can be a little bit hard now to distinguish what is the theme for me. I think it's more people are looking for style of the theme, and the demo stores, they really kind of, if it resonates with you, I think it's easier to start with that kind of theme. But then you should also kind of keep in mind, like if you are really looking for to customize it forward, then there might be things that you cannot see. And this is maybe a good point that the theme store could go a little bit forward. That is this, for example, a developer friendly theme? You can't really tell that from the theme store. So there's those kind of small things that would be nice to see there. And of course, there's, as I said, for the merchant, there starts to be a lot of different themes. Of course, you can filter them with different parameters, but still, I think to help them make the choice in the future is going to be a key part of the theme store and the theme store experience. Overall, I think it's for the merchants. If you don't know, it's good to know that you can try the theme like before the purchase. I think that some of the merchants don't realize that you can really kind of install the theme in your own store and play around it in the background. It's not going to be your live theme. But that's the thing I want to highlight for the merchants, that you can always try them. You don't like it, choose a new one. That's good to know that there's kind of no need to rush into the purchase. You can try the themes out first.
Great. Some really good hints, and I agree that not all are aware of how it really works. So definitely something that listeners can learn from here. And the actual hot stuff of today is that we have just released our brand new premium Taiga theme on the Shopify theme store, and you are actually one of the masterminds behind Taiga. So how would you describe the process before the release was being done since the day one or day zero? Your pick.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a ride, I would say. Like we can have, well, maybe I'll roll back a little bit history. As I said, we've been doing and working with Shopify themes for over 5 years now, and we've seen a lot of like evolvement on the themes. First of all, it was like this timber scaffolding themes that were really kind of limited back in the days when we started things. Then you started to see sections in some places, and then there was this promise of sections everywhere. And things like that. We were always kind of in Woman, we were kind of thinking that, hey, maybe we should also build our own theme, and that was always like on our minds that let's do it someday. And then after the like OS 2.0 theme started, we were more kind of into it that, hey, maybe now it's the time. And last year we decided, hey, let's do this, let's build our own theme. And of course the development process took a while, but I think it's really paid off now that we've actually got the launch in. And in the development process, we really try to involve different kind of specialists in-house, because we have a lot of knowledge, whether it's from the crowd services and from the developers, even from the kind of people who do integrations for Shopify. All that knowledge, try to push it together to make a theme that really helps the merchants kind of push their products and sell well, and that it's really usable in different devices, and speedy and all that stuff. Of course, there's a lot of layers in that, so it's been a tricky ride to get all the layers in the right places. But in the end, I think we really succeeded in that. And even now that we made the launch, like beginning of this year, I think we're still kind of fine tuning a little bit the theme now that we get some of the kind of requests from the people who have purchased the theme, so we can really kind of build on top of that good baseline that we have and the good features that we have in.
Great.
So yeah.
Joonas, what are the core benefits Taiga can bring to the table?
Yeah, so overall, I think first of all, if you are a curated theme in the theme store, you can be really kind of, there's a level of things that needs to be done correctly to even get to the theme store. So we have that all in place. But then, of course, there are differences in the themes themselves. And I think in our case, what we did, for example, is that one of the core kind of benefits is the extensive video support. So we give the merchants options to use video content in different sections that you might not normally see in themes. It's quite in many themes it's quite limited to just certain sections where you can use video. But we try to kind of include that you can always choose that, hey, whether you want to use image in here, you can quite often use a video instead. And even that you can choose like on mobile, let's use this video, and in desktop, let's use other video, because in mobile you might be wanting a portrait video, and in desktop kind of landscape video in terms of aspect ratio. So that's one of the features. Then of course there are some kind of unique layout options in different sections, so how things look overall. And then I think this is a kind of minor thing, but actually it's really beneficial that we have this kind of section level margins. So you can really easily kind of control how much space you have between different sections. This might feel like, well, this is kind of my minor thing. And in most of the themes, it's kind of static. You cannot control it at all. But in our theme, you can really kind of even kind of group in a certain way these sections, because first of all, you kind of for example, use a hero image, hero banner, and then you put right next to it, below it, a sliding text banner section. It looks really nice, and you can kind of combine them, and then you have like this full control of what's the spacing between the sections. It sounds really simple and small, but I think we've done it in a way that many haven't. Then there's also some other differences and benefits. I think the navigation approach is a little bit different. In there, we have this kind of philosophy that navigation and the navigation structure stays really the same whether you're using a mobile or desktop device. In desktop, we have more room, but we're still using this kind of drawer navigation where you can even have like much more kind of content inside the navigation rather than just links. But we try to kind of incorporate it so that it's really easy to switch between devices, and you will still find your way to the same place. And that's kind of one thing about the usability to easy navigate to different places of your store. And overall, I would say like our theme is based on what matters to the merchants. So it's really nice that now we start to see also some kind of feature requests, and we really take those really seriously and think that, hey, this is something that we can still incorporate into our theme. Those are usually kind of minor things, but in the end, the minor things also count for the merchants, and we really want to kind of take those into our theme as well. And last note is what I kind of previously also discussed, is that's like developer friendly. So we want also the developers to embrace our theme. So it's not, of course, the merchants is the biggest kind of driver. But if you want to customize our theme, we don't make it hard. Some of the themes look really great and work really nice, have nice features, but then there might be problems if you want to customize there. For example, the JavaScript is kind of compiled into this kind of mess for the developers. It's really hard. We don't try to limit the developers. We want them to embrace the theme as well. So that's one of I think a key driver, that we try to make it easy for the developers and easy to extend with custom logic.
That's truly fascinating. Thanks, Joonas. Really fascinating, and lots of features. And I'm even like learning some myself, even though I've been looking at Taiga very carefully. For what type of brands is our premium theme Taiga mainly aimed at? What would you say?
Well, I would say that it's for any brand, all types of brands. Of course, there is this kind of, I would say it's a little bit of kind of artificial grouping in, for example, the theme store. That, for example, Taiga is grouped in kind of fashion and sports and recreation. That's because we build our demo stores for those kind of brands. But I think it's really capable of doing different kind of brands. If it's like food or beverage or like anything, and even though it's a brand with kind of minimal looks or really kind of different looks, I think the team can really do it all. It's more about how you set the theme up and what kind of sections you are using, what kind of images you use. Those kind of really define what does your store look like in the end. It's more like the Taiga is a framework for you to kind of, it has certain layout features, but it's more about your brand, your images, your products, how it will in the end look like. So even though it's more like aimed towards fashion and sports and recreation, I would really recommend to at least try it out, whether it's something else that your industry is.
Great, thanks. And I've already seen that quite many are exploring it in CPG and other categories as well, which is totally great. And sort of like a spoiler, you already see it with some big brands, and we are soon about to release some new stores with really big brands using it. So just wait and see. But Joonas, my question is here that how has the feedback been so far? Has Taiga been more dominant in Europe, Americas, or Asia?
Well, we have a limited amount of data at the moment, but it's stacking up, building up. But at least now, for the beginning, I think the feedback has been really good, and we have got some requests, and I think most of the requests really kind of start with that they like the theme overall, and they like to customize things you can customize. For example, the margins that I kind of mentioned before was kind of big deal for some of the merchants. It's really nice and easy to set the white space between sections. So overall, the feedback has been really good. And of course, there is like small tweaks that we are doing, and we are releasing in a steady schedule to kind of take care of the requests that our merchants are having. So I think that's also a good note. We are really keen on helping our merchants at the moment. So kind of jump in, and we will help you out with different problems if you have with the theme. We really want to hear from the merchants themselves, like if there is something that they might want to do a little bit differently. If it's kind of doable, we most definitely look into it, and we'll see if we can make it to the next releases. So that's something to keep in mind as well. That we take our support really serious as well. We want to be there when you get lost or if you have problems. So I think that's also a huge part of the themes overall. What you get when you purchase a Taiga theme from the theme store.
Great. Some really good insights. Thanks, Joonas. And I'll make sure that in the show notes, you can find a direct link to Taiga, which is listed on Shopify's theme store. So you can just check the show notes as well. And thank you so much for Joonas for your time. Would you have any final words?
Well, I think it has been nice to take part in this podcast. I think this is first one for me. So it's really have been nice to tell you about what we've done with the themes and what we've done with Taiga, and really like to involve the merchants as well, and let us know if there is something that you're missing or you would like to see made differently. They might not make it to this theme, but we are also I think we are now kind of preparing the next one. So stay tuned. There's more themes coming as well.
Thank you, Joonas. So wishing all the listeners a very commercially successful week. Good luck and stay tuned. Next episode coming next Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.